For our presentation, the big idea we focused on is food and the change of preparing it from the late 1800s to the 1950s. This topic is important to students because it contributes to their understanding of how the food got onto their plates today. This also contributes to their development as citizens because in order to be well-rounded citizens, they need to understand how complicated the food process was before you were able to drive to the grocery store.
To illustrate our theme of how food changed over time, we have brought in people and children from the late 1800s to the 1950s. Did you know the stoves weren't always run by electricity? In fact, the family needed to start a fire in order to cook their food.
I love preparing meals for my family. I do all of my cooking in the kitchen, which is truly the heart of my home. Before I can start cooking, I rely on my husband and sons to gather and chop enough wood to fill my stove. Then, I light the stove and can finally begin to prepare my meal. Not long after I enjoy that delicious food, I have to begin preparing for the next meal.
Did you know kitchen sinks didn't have running water without effort until last quarter of the 19th century?
Every week, I go into the kitchen to take my bath. My mama gets my bath water ready from the pump in our kitchen. I love taking baths, but it's a lot of hard work for my mom to pump up and down to get enough water to fill my tub. She told me the pump used to be outside of the home, but now it is conveniently in the kitchen.
Did you know citizens couldn't always go to the grocery store for their food, but many grew their own crops and raised animals?
In order to bring food to everyone's table, including my own, I must spend my whole day on the farm. I never have a day off. After I harvest my fruits and vegetables, I take them to the local farmers market to sell them. Farming is really hard work, but is necessary to keep everyone fed. If the conditions are bad, from a drought or too much rain, it is hard to have enough crops for everyone.
Did you know in the 1950s, kitchens were the highlight of most homes? Kitchens, such as the one we're about to show you, was equipped with an electric stove, counters, laundry, dishwasher, and eating space. Kitchens were also the place for a lot of activities such as family time or hosting guests.
After going to the supermarket and buying my week's worth of groceries, I need to prepare dinner for my husband and kids. Dinner is made easy with all my new appliances. I have everything from a Gibson electric range stove and Frigidaire icebox. It takes me no longer than an hour to cook dinner, so I am able to spend quality time with my husband and kids.
The glicks we used for this project were for 3rd grade. The first one is H301. Identify questions historians ask in examining the past in Michigan. For instance, what happened? When did it happen? Who was involved? How and why did it happen? The other glick we used is H302. Explain how historians use primary and secondary sources to answer questions about the past. On our trip to the Michigan Historical Museum, we learned how food played an instrumental role in shaping Michigan's past. Agriculture was extremely important in creating and continuing Michigan's economy. Foods such as corn, cherries, and dairy have provided jobs, meals, and a way of life for people in Michigan over the past 100